ELI5 What is the event horizon as described by Stephen Hawking, and what does it mean for time, space and light? The closer you get to the center of a black hole, the stronger it pulls, and the faster you need to move to escape that pull. At some point the speed you need to escape its pull becomes greater than the speed of light. Because speed of light is the fastest speed anything can move with, nothing can escape it. This point is what's called event horizon. I like the literal breakdown. Think about an event in the most general sense. Like a ship disappearing beyond a traditional horizon, beyond the event horizon, you can't observe any events because even light cannot escape to indicate some event has happened. The most interesting bit of this is that whatever occurs at the event horizon, for as long as you can observe the light traveling from that location, will appear frozen in time from the point it crosses that threshold. So, a ship moving over the event horizon would appear to be moving at exceptional speed, most likely because of the gravity pulling it into the event itself, and then suddenly stop. Once the light coming from that object at that point in time has stopped arriving from that location, the object will just fade into oblivion and disappear. Wild. That is not even discussing situations involving redshift or other things. Event horizons are definitionally a boundary beyond which events cannot affect the observer. Specifically, this is a concept that applies to black holes. In an ELI5 sense, imagine a marble in a deep pot with a curved bottom. By swirling the pot around, you can get the marble to climb the walls, but imagine that this pot had sides so steep and tall that no amount of swirling could get that marble out. If one were to imagine that marble is a photon, the highest point you could get the marble swirling would be the event horizon. If anything, marble, spaceship, rubber duck, were to get into the pot beyond that point, it doesn't matter how fast it's going, it's stuck in there. Since light itself can't escape the event horizon, you can't actually see or even detect what goes on beyond that point, and due to relativity, if someone figured out an ELI5 on relativity, that would be entertaining to read. The closer an object got to the event horizon, the slower it would appear to go, so someone watching something go over the edge would just see it slow down to a complete stop as it entered. Black holes are wild. Event horizons are the edge of a black hole '(s). Blackness. It's the point where the black hole's gravity becomes so strong that light, and by extension everything else, can't overcome it and gets pulled in, leaving only black nothingness. This leads to another important aspect about black holes. The actual black hole object, the singularity, is an infinitely small chunk of mass at the very center, and the whole part that we see is just an illusion, created because all the light that would otherwise travel to our eyes is being sucked into the hole. Another important thing, if you were to fall into the black hole, assuming you weren't ripped to shreds first, time would pass normally for you, and you would watch the universe shrink away behind you until you were surrounded by darkness and or ceased to exist. Someone watching you fall in would see a different thing though. They would watch your descent slow down the closer you got to the event horizon, because the light image of you falling would become more and more distorted the closer you got. This would continue until you froze in place completely, at which point you would just kinda fade away since the image of you falling in also falls in with you. And one last important thing, most black holes have event horizons a few dozen miles wide at most. But some, at the core of very bright galaxies, are orders of magnitude larger than the largest stars, and could swallow solar systems whole. It's the place where information can only be pulled farther into a black hole. Time, space, and light, pretty much immediately lose any relevance of what they were before crossing this boundary. In our observations of what we think is a black hole, we are really only seeing the smear left over by the stars and gas and matter heating up as they approach the horizon. I just had to explain this to an actual 5-year-old a few months ago. Told him that a black hole sucks up everything, including light, which is why it's all black. The event horizon is the point of no return. Once you cross that point, there's no escape. You'll stretch like spaghetti and time will slow down and then you're gone. Think of this way, you throw a ball vertically up on Earth. It goes a fair distance then falls back down on the ground. You need to throw it at 11.8 kilometers per second or more for the ball to escape Earth and go into space. I'm ignoring air resistance here. Similarly, on Moon, you'd need to throw the ball at 2.38 kilometers per second, since Moon's gravity is less than Earth. This is known as the escape velocity. For our Sun, the escape velocity is 615 kilometers per second. Anything coming out of the Sun slower than that will fall back into the Sunday. Escape velocity also depends upon your distance from the gravitation source center of the cosmological body, usually. So if you throw the ball from an airplane 35,000 feet in the air, the escape velocity required will be slightly low. Now think of this way, event horizon is the boundary around the black hole where the escape velocity is 3 by 105 kilometers per second. Does this number look familiar to you? It's the velocity of light. It's also the universal cosmological limit, meaning nothing can travel faster than that. You can work out the next conclusion on your own, but I'll write it here. Since the escape velocity of a black hole at event horizon is c, nothing escapes it, not even light. Simplified explanation, of course. The best explanation of an event horizon I've ever heard is this analogy. Let's say you are in a canoe on a river. A little way down river is a waterfall. Right now you are safe and can paddle in either direction. As you get closer to the waterfall, the river picks up speed. For a while you will be able to paddle against the current and get to safety. But at some point the current is going to be moving faster than you can paddle and you are going to get pulled over the waterfall. That point is called the event horizon. Same thing applies with black holes. It's the point at which there is no escape and you're going to be sucked into it. Thanks for watching.